Assalamu alaikum and welcome to our third lecture on the industrial sector of Pakistan. In this lecture, we will discuss the remaining points regarding macroeconomic contribution of this sector. After that, we will highlight the performance of the industrial sector, and finally, we'll talk about the constraints which the industrial sector of Pakistan is facing. So let's start our discussion with the contribution of this sector. First 6 points are already discussed in our previous class. So in this class, we will focus only on the last point, which is strengthening regional linkages. This is one of the major contribution of the industrial sector, that it promotes regional linkages. The industrial sector promotes regional linkages in different ways, such as it creates demand for raw materials from different regions. We know that every industry needs a raw material. Let's take an example of textile. Textile in industry need cotton, and a large number of textile units are in industrial zone of Faisalabad and Karachi. When they need raw material such as cotton, cotton comes from different regions such as Multan, Rahim Yar Khan, Okada, Sakkar, Gotki. These are few cotton producing regions. So the cotton from these regions comes to Faisalabad, comes to Karachi, and which is utilized by the textile industry. So when a cotton from far-flung areas come to the industries, it creates a strong linkage between those areas and the areas where industries are located. Similarly, industrial sector is highly helpful in connecting rural and urban economies. While discussing the linkages of industrial sector with agriculture, we discussed multiple points. And we know that agriculture, and especially the crop sector and livestock sector, these two are mainly confined to the rural areas. So the processing of agriculture products, converting agriculture products into high values, all this is done by the industrial sector. So in this way, industrial sector connects rural and urban economies. In this regard, off-farm employment opportunities is another example. Number 3, industry improves regional linkages through infrastructure development. Now we know that construction sector, a subsector of industry, is mainly responsible for the development of infrastructure, and infrastructure is necessary for the regional linkages such as roads, bridge. All these things are essential for the regional linkages. Point number 4, industries lead to growth of small and medium scale enterprises across region. The growth of industry leads to the expansion of SMEs such as traders, logistic firms, warehouses, and repair workshops. A very good example is of textile industry, which largely outsources its packaging. Similarly, there are large number of SMEs in Gujranwala and Gujarat which provide specialized goods to large scale industry. Next point is that industry encourages migration of skilled labor. We know that industries need skilled labor, and industry in general hires skilled labor at a relatively higher wages. So the skilled labor from different part of the country, they migrate to work in industries. So in this way, the migration is also encouraged. Now we'll talk about an overview of the performance of industrial sector. In this regard, first of all, we will look at the statistics of employment and the contribution of this sector in GDP. Let's look at share in gross domestic product. Though we have already discussed these statistics, but we are repeating that because we want to analyze the overall performance of this sector. In 1963-64, the contribution of this sector in GDP was 18.11, and in 2024-25, the contribution has gone up to 20.25. So this indicates that there is increase of only 2.14% during last 63 years. So this indicates that though the contribution of industrial sector in GDP has increased over time, but the rate is very slow. It has increased just 2.14 percentage points in last 63 years. Now let's look at the share of this sector in employment. In 1963-64, its share in employment was 15.39, and now its share in employment is 25.25. So there is an increase of 9.81 percentage points during last 63 years. So this shows that over time, the industrial sector is absorbing more and more people. Apparently, it seems to be very good. Now let's compare value added share relative to employment. In 1963-64, share in GDP divided by share in employment, that is the ratio of the share in GDP and share in employment, was 1.18. In 2025, this ratio has gone down to 0.81, which is below optimum level. How it is below optimum level? In a very simple way, we can say that 25.2% people are contributing 20.25 in GDP. So the ratio is 0.81, though it's a very loose indicator, but it is showing that the figure is below optimum level, and it's indicating low labor productivity relative to economy-wide average. So in nutshell, we can say that the industrial sector of Pakistan has shown a substantial growth, but there is an issue of efficiency and labor productivity. Now we'll talk about the challenges and the bottlenecks which are faced by the industrial sector of Pakistan. In this regard, the first point is high energy cost and supply shortages. Expensive electricity and gas tariffs are among few big hurdles in the growth of industry in Pakistan. Further, frequent supply disruptions also hamper the industrial growth. This not only raises the cost of production but also reduce competitiveness, especially for export-oriented industries. Complex regulatory and high tax rates. The tax structure is too complicated, and frequent changes in tax policies create uncertainty. So this is another hurdle in the growth of industrial sector. Though recently government took a few steps to simplify the regulatory system, but still much more is required to boost the industrial sector of the country. Dependence on obsolete technology and limited adoption of advanced technology. This is one of the fundamental problem in the industrial sector of Pakistan, that many industries rely on outdated machinery, resulting in low productivity and poor product quality. And this issue is even more severe with small units and especially with small textile and printing units. So there is a need to adopt new technology. Macroeconomic vulnerabilities, fiscal deficits, currency volatility, and high inflation rates. These also are hurdles in the development of industrial sector. Persistent fiscal deficits, exchange rate instability, and high inflation rate create uncertainty for investors and increase output cost. This discourages long-term industrial planning and expansion. Now, among all these, high inflation rates are of great concern for small units that are not sustainable with the high cost. Similarly, continuous depreciation of Pak rupee directly affects the cost of production by increasing the cost of imported raw material. So these macroeconomic vulnerabilities are also a big challenge for the industrial sector. Not only industrial sector, these are the big challenges for all the sectors. Policy inconsistencies. Policy inconsistency is another issue. Frequent changes in industrial, trade and energy policies create uncertainty and undermine investors' confidence. So lack of continuity in policies discourage both local and foreign investors. Limited access to finance. This is an issue especially for new and small scale industrialists. High interest rate and strict lending conditions restrict industrialists' access to credit. This limits expansion, modernization, and working capital availability. Then another issue is shortage of skilled labor. Now in our country we have a very strong phenomena of brain drain. So there is a brain drain of skilled labor, which is another bottleneck in the growth of industry. The industry don't get the labor with required skill. Most of the workers lack in vocational training. So industries struggle to adopt modern technologies due to lack of trained manpower. So on one side we have obsolete technology, and other side, even if the new technologies are adopted, then we don't have the skilled labor force. And finally, trade related challenges such as high tariffs and low export diversification. High import tariffs on raw material increase the cost of production, while limited export diversification makes the sector vulnerable to external shocks. Pakistan relies heavily on a few export products and markets. So these were the few challenges which the industrial sector of Pakistan is facing. And if these challenges are well addressed, then hopefully the pace at which the industrial sector is growing will increase. So with this is all about today. And this was our third module, the industrial sector of Pakistan. Now our next topic is the services sector of Pakistan, a concise overview. Till then, thank you. Allah Hafiz. Take care.